Distinguished executive strategy leaders, industry captains, and of course, fellow professionals, we would like to warmly welcome all of you. In our traditional parlance, we say Akwaba. Tonight, it's not just an inauguration of an association, but we are activating a movement that will dictate the pace and the direction of this country and the continent as a whole.
This evening is a response to a simple research document I came across. And that Boston Consulting Group's research sought to suggest that managers at the lower level have as much as 72% of them not understanding or appreciating what strategy is. And we felt that we could respond to that gap, that shortfall. That is our greatest motivation for bringing together practitioners of strategy to advance the cause of strategy practice, particularly in corporate Africa.
By developing managers and professionals and executives in leading strategy, from strategic leadership to strategic planning to strategy development to control. That is one key thematic area we don't joke with in the executive class, strategy control.
We are looking forward to having organizations build giant businesses in Africa, and we thought that one of the greatest tools we could use to do that is when there is key strategy knowledge among leaders who drive these organizations.
How do you build a complete institution of the sort and resign from it? And I always remind them, stepping back is part of leadership.
All I want to say is that we don't take these decisions arbitrarily or based on intuition.
I felt very included in today's discussions. The lecturer today was also very exciting, very innovative, and he definitely kept the class alive.
The orientation, the delivery has been perfect, and I am so excited.
Naturally, systems are evolving, organizations are evolving, and you cannot afford to remain static. You need to be strategic in your approach in solving problems.
The first day has been very impressive. I've met a number of people already. I think that this environment creates the right opportunity to network with people of like-mindedness and also, connect business-wise.
Distinguished executive strategy leaders, industry captains, and of course, fellow professionals, we would like to warmly welcome all of you. In our traditional parlance, we say Akwaba. Tonight, it's not just an inauguration of an association, but we are activating a movement that will dictate the pace and the direction of this country and the continent as a whole.
This evening is a response to a simple research document I came across. And that Boston Consulting Group's research sought to suggest that managers at the lower level have as much as 72% of them not understanding or appreciating what strategy is. And we felt that we could respond to that gap, that shortfall. That is our greatest motivation for bringing together practitioners of strategy to advance the cause of strategy practice, particularly in corporate Africa.
By developing managers and professionals and executives in leading strategy, from strategic leadership to strategic planning to strategy development to control. That is one key thematic area we don't joke with in the executive class, strategy control.
We are looking forward to having organizations build giant businesses in Africa, and we thought that one of the greatest tools we could use to do that is when there is key strategy knowledge among leaders who drive these organizations.
How do you build a complete institution of the sort and resign from it? And I always remind them, stepping back is part of leadership.
All I want to say is that we don't take these decisions arbitrarily or based on institution.
I felt very included in today's discussions. The lecturer today was also very exciting, very innovative, and he definitely kept the class alive.
The orientation, the delivery has been perfect, and I am so excited.
Naturally, systems are evolving, organizations are evolving, and you cannot afford to remain static. You need to be strategic in your approach in solving problems.
The first day has been very impressive. I've met a number of people already. I think that this environment creates the right opportunity to network with people of like-mindedness and also, connect business-wise.
A very good evening to all our August listeners, and thank you for making time to join our mock up information session. We've run this information session about 3 weeks to a month ago, but when we ended, quite a number of people reached out to us that they had missed out, and the requests kept coming, and we thought that we could repeat the information session ahead of takeoff of our 11th cohort of the Certified Strategy Professional. So if you are joining us this evening from Accra, from Ghana, from any other part of the world, you are warmly welcome to information session run by the Institute of Leadership and Strategy, leading to the takeoff of the 11th cohort, taking off September 5, 2026. In just a few minutes, I will be walking you through every information you need to know to help you make a decision whether or not to sign up for the professional certification in corporate and business strategy. Right, so we are the Institute of Leadership and Strategy. Our physical location is on the Lagos Avenue, East Legon, Accra, Ghana. Once you get into Google Map and key in Institute of Leadership and Strategy, it would direct you straight to our executive training center, like I mentioned, located at East Legon, Accra, Ghana. We, as an institute, specialize in 4 broad areas. First one is the Certified Strategy Professional course, as we are about to discuss. The second is our executive level, otherwise known as the C-level executive leadership for executives, managers, and professionals. We also undertake in-house trainings for quite a number of organizations. We've covered about 300 firms, most of them in Ghana, in executive development, leadership and people management trainings, etc. And finally, we render strategy consulting services in the area of either developing your strategy plans for you. We've done that for quite a number of organizations across the country. We just delivered the bank hospitals. That's the hospital owned by Bank of Ghana. We delivered their strategy plan. We have done so for a number of estate firms and a few of the banks. We also facilitate strategy sessions for quite a number of firms, from Ghana Revenue Authority to
project and resolution divisions of Bank of Ghana to a number of private institutions, Casa Preco, and a number of organizations across the country. On your screen are just a few of the many organizations we have either consulted for or facilitated their leadership and strategy session. On your screen, you would find Bank of Ghana, DevTraco, Ghana Revenue Authority, Marriott Hotel, Coca-Cola Newmont, Talo Oil, Coronation Insurance, the Bank Hospital, Absa Bank, Ghana Link, FNB Bank, Kempinski Hotel, Ghana Stock Exchange, Menzies Aviation, Olam, ARB, Apex Bank, and all the accompanying rural banks across the country, VRA, Bank of Africa, Prudential Life Insurance, Hollard Insurance, Casa Preco, Jobberman, Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority, USAID, which has currently closed down, and we served as consultants to help the American Embassy successfully close down the USAID in Ghana. Right, so now I'm going to focus on why we are here, which is the certified strategy professional. The certified strategy professional is a professional certification course we run on quarterly basis, and we are representing the global strategy body in Ghana, the global body located in the US, but we are the approved providers representing them in Ghana. We had passed out or have run some 10 cohorts, passing out over 600 plus individuals. You've had the likes of the chief director at the presidency, registrar of companies, GCB Bank have brought a number of their staff, CFOs of Jospon, of Bank Hospital, of the Traco, and a number of senior managers and professionals who sponsored themselves into the program. It's a 10-week course that delivers 10 modules. So a 10 modular program delivered over a period of 10 weeks. And in course of the 10 weeks, you are covering 10 modules, including that involves one, understanding the environment of strategy. The purpose of this module is to give managers firm grounding in corporate strategy, business level strategy, and for that matter, functional strategy. And as I always quote, Boston Consulting Group, one of the leading consulting groups in the world, conducted a research among managers to understand their level of understanding of strategy. When they tested the lower layer of management, those are like line managers, branch managers who manage people and activities, a whopping 72% of these managers did not express confidence, and for that matter, an overwhelming knowledge in strategy. Senior managers who technically manage managers also have as much as 54% of them not understanding or appreciating what strategy is. The shocker is the C-level or the C-suite executive managers who still have a whopping 26% of them without great expression of strategy knowledge. And I always say, to rise to the top, to survive in executive management role, understanding or demonstrating knowledge and skill in strategy is imperative, because strategy encapsulates nearly everything within the organization. Strategy itself is the reference point for all decision making. And so we cover that introduction, that foundation, which we christened understanding the environment of strategy, how strategy flows from corporate level, cascading down to business level, to functional level, and all the choices we make at each level to be able to chart a direction for the organization. Module number 2 is competitive strategy. Strategy fundamentally have a lot to do with competition. How do you position to gain competitive advantage? And like we always say, drafting or running a competitive strategy is about relating the organization to its environment and being sure that you have an advantage over competitors within the industry. Our modules number 3 and 4, and for that matter, covering weeks 3 and 4, as we were explaining yesterday on City FM, the City Morning Show, is a key area that encapsulates strategy formulation and planning, the whole skill or technical skills required to put together a strategic plan for an organization. How do you formulate and develop the strategic plan for the organization? We have facilitated strategy sessions for more than 60 companies in Ghana. And some of the time you go into those sessions, and all the managers do is to put together annual goals and mistake it or call it strategy. But if it is actual strategy, you would want to understand the organization and understand the organization's environment, from the SWOT analysis down to doing resource assessment and appreciating the competencies of each functional area. Then we look at the external environment, where we conduct the external factor evaluation metrics between the opportunities and threats that direct where resource allocation should focus on. Then we want to look at the industry analysis, the competitive analysis landscape, the market analysis, the customer analysis. All these things are done in level 2 before we move to level 3, where we create the strategic pillars and priority areas for the organization, out of which we deduce the corporate level strategy that trickles down to business decisions. And then you can now come up with goals and strategic objectives to drive those strategic pillars. In level number 4, where we make the choices, the strategic choices the organization will take. Are we delivering or putting the organization on growth and expansion strategy, or consolidation and stability strategy? Otherwise, retrenchment or divestiture strategy. At a business level, choices are made on product and service line, on whether we are running differentiation strategy or cost leadership strategy. And all of these things are put together before we get to stage 5, where we anchor those decisions in stakeholder demand, be it the regulator or the board of the organization, etc. Module number 5 handles change and organizational transformation. Naturally, there have been arguments as to, well, in this VUCA business world, how volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous our business world has become. How do you run an agile strategy so you don't lose out? Because at the time of developing a strategy, there may be some evidence that is not readily available to the drafters of the strategy, and for that matter, they are unable to envisage every possible thing that will happen in the life of the strategy. Since strategy itself is a cycle of adaptations, always relating the organization to its environment, the organization will want to be sure that you can reformulate the strategy in every financial year and subject it to review, and being sure you can manage all the changes that come with it, especially when it comes to managing the projects, the initiatives, and all of that. So module number 5 tends to look at the change elements. And for that matter, I always say change management is a leadership and strategy agenda to run the organization or run the strategy to a conclusive end. Then module number 6 is on business and financial analysis. And I always caution those who don't have finance background, don't run away. We are not teaching that module as though you are a finance expert, but to be able to develop the metrics that track and measure the performance of the and a very special leadership and strategy execution. Leadership and strategy execution. Now, McKinsey Consulting Group says that some 48.6% of all organizations who go through the trouble, and for that matter, the prestigious exercise of developing strategy plan, do not have the strategy seeing the light of day. And companies spend quite some good money. We are just returning from Aqua Safari. The whole of last week, we were with the Ghana Revenue Authority at Aqua Safari, helping them to put their strategy in perspective, and most importantly, to partner them to drive execution and implementation of those strategies. So all the control measures you require, the reviews, the risk element of running the strategy to see the light of day are all taught in modules 7 and 8. Module number 9 is what we call the strategy governance, where the role of the board, the role of the executive management team, the role of the heads of department and functional heads of businesses in anchoring and drafting or executing on the strategy. Module 10 is quite a very special module. Special because that is not a module we teach as facilitators or instructors. And very soon, I'll be unveiling our facilitators at the Institute of Leadership and Strategy to you. It's on one of the slides. In that module, which is number 10, we allow trainees and participants in the course to be grouped into their industries. If you are coming from the banking and financial services sector, you'll be in one group. You're coming from the telco, from the oil and gas, from the government sector, from the NGOs, pharmaceutical, every industry represented in the class. You have special case studies. You work on developing strategy for a company within your industry. And that gives you opportunity to put into use all the strategic tools we would have provided you from module number 1 or week 1 to week 9. Every major tool and strategy development mechanism you need, you have the opportunity of using it to put together a strategic plan, and then you make business presentation to a panel that would listen to your presentation, critique your work, and the purpose of it is to increase your collective knowledge experience in how to develop a strategic plan for an organization. So here are the 10 modules run over a period of 10 weeks. On your screen are our most revered facilitators and resource persons. And let me say that if you are not a strategy expert, if you are not a corporate chief who have been in senior management for a minimum of 10 years, you don't facilitate anything at the Institute of Leadership and Strategy. On your screen, my good self, as a leadership and strategy expert, I have facilitated strategy and leadership training over 200 organizations across Ghana and a few other countries other than Ghana. Then we have, as a visiting resource person, Mr. Kwekwa Ochwi, who happens to be the former CEO of Tallow Oil, former executive of Anglo Gold Ashanti. He was head of strategy, former CEO for Volta River Authority. He's the current board chairman for UBA, United Bank for Africa, and also chairman for Multimedia Limited. Mr. Adolf Pega is currently the regional chief risk officer for EcoBank West Africa. Prior to that, he has been the chief strategy and operations officer of Absa Bank PLC, a key strategy, finance, and risk expert. Grace Awotri is the chief finance officer of the Bank Hospital, as a strategy and financial analyst, and also a chartered accountant. Dr. Patrick Fishen is a strategy expert. He's been a former C-suite executive of EcoBank and Standard Chartered Bank. Michael Abiu is the current national president for Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana. He's a strategy expert, a CEO of MGA Consulting, and also sits on Telecel board. Mami Ekuagezi is also a strategy expert, a change management professional, managing partner of 565 Consult. Then we have Mr. Peter Amobediakun, who until recently was Director of Ports for the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, a certified strategy professional, public sector executive, and last but not the least is Wing Commander Samuel Alote, who is a consultant and a senior lecturer with GIMPA, board chairman for Jospon, former C-suite executive of Standard Chartered Bank. So these are the ladies and gentlemen who facilitate our leadership and strategy lectures at the Institute of Leadership and Strategy. One may ask, what is the benefit of becoming a strategy professional, or we can say a certified strategy professional. Now, generally, strategy certification gives you credibility and recognition. You might say, oh, I know or understand strategy. I hope you're not relying on the theoretical strategy you were taught in your MBA class. But even if you do because you are in practice, how are we sure you know? And sometimes you need an independent body to certify you, which serves as credibility for and recognition for you, both locally and globally, since this is a global certification. And then it also provides you with demonstrable skill and confidence at all levels of strategy, from the corporate level to the business level to the functional level. The third benefit of being a certified strategy professional is a strategy that it gives you mastery in the formulation and planning. Sometimes you walk to strategy session. These are very senior managers who simply do not understand the process and the tools we use in developing strategy plans for the organizations. It also helps you gain skill and mastery on application of all the strategic tools, and I mean all, from the Potter's 5 forces to the SWOT analysis to the McKinsey 7S model to the GE McKinsey 9-box metrics to Potter's generic strategy. All the tools that help you to develop proper strategy are all taught in this program. Strategy certification also naturally gives you understanding of business models and your ability to do financial analysis of decisions that are taken, whether at the corporate or the business unit level. It gives you skills to effectively lead execution and implementation. Sometimes there's that gap between strategy hanging up there as a prestigious document and everyday operational activities in the organization. But if you are trained as a professional, you always know how to close that gap and lead effective execution and implementation. Last but one is that strategy certification naturally will position you for C-suite executive roles. The moment you are becoming or you have become a senior manager, the conversation on the executive table is all about strategy, strategy, strategy. And so it positions you for that C-suite, your effectiveness in the C-suite executive role. And finally, strategy certification prepares you for a private or independent management consulting career in strategy. Those of you who want to go into consultancy service as a management consultant specializing in strategy, either by developing strategy plans for businesses, organizations, or facilitating the strategy session for them. We've done about 5:28. In a few minutes, we'll be wrapping up this conversation. One may ask, who is eligible? Who is qualified? Now, this is open to all managers. The emphasis is managers, executives, and professionals. So by managers, any level, whether you are a line manager, senior manager, executive manager, once you enjoy that designation or title of a manager, it qualifies you. Otherwise, you are an executive. Otherwise, you are a professional. We've had several medical doctors come through this course, several lawyers, loads of military chiefs from Ghana Army have gone through this program. You are an accountant, an architect. The people we don't quite accept are rank and file staff. I finished university last year. I'm done with my national service. No, you will not understand the content we teach because strategy is a high-level activity in the organization. Very recently, we've also started accepting entrepreneurs. So you are the founder or owner of the business. You sit at the top making strategic decisions for the organization. You are equally qualified. Whether you are coming from a profit organization, multinational, local, or the non-profits, the NGOs, the public sector, we've had several persons from various ministries. The Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, officers of the Presidency, Registrar General's Department, they equally, come through this 10-week professional program in strategy. Before I sign up, there are just a couple of slides to cover the structure of the program: course fee, course center, period of lectures, duration of lecture. I'll cover those, but If you have any questions or inquiries, don't hesitate to contact our hotline as displayed on your screen, 0244 26 86 72. That number again is 0244 26 86 72. Once you contact this number, every single information, you can just send your question via WhatsApp. You send a text via WhatsApp, and every detail will be shared with you, including all your questions, answered. Now, what is the course structure? The course duration is a 10-week instructor-led sessions with case studies. So it's a total of 10 weeks. You have the option of signing up for the in-person tuition or the virtual tuition. In-person runs on Saturdays only, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Indeed, with 1 hour, 1 hour of lunch break, 1 full hour lunch break in between. And the learning center is at the ILS Executive Center, that is Institute of Leadership and Strategy, located at East Legon, Accra. You may also want to sign up for the virtual option, Sundays only, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. via Google Meet. And let me say, there are intermittent breaks. You don't sit 1 to 6. Adults don't learn like that. So there are, after every 1.5 hour, you have a 20-minute break till we close at 6 p.m. People ask, is your online option effective? Several persons have gone through the online. Staff of Ghana Port and Harbors Authority sat in Takrady all through. Staff of National Investment Bank from Kumasi. We've had managers from NHIS in the northern part of Ghana. Indeed, people from 7 countries other than Ghana didn't have to travel down. They sat in their countries and took this course all through. But the good thing is that candidates or trainees have the liberty to switch between the 2 options. Every weekend, you decide which of the 2 options suits your schedule. So if you have the time, come for physical class, maybe for networking purposes. If you miss Saturday because of work or some social event, you jump onto the online Sunday and you miss nothing, because everything that happens Saturday physical, same module, same thematic areas, same instructor is is the person that delivers the following day online option, so you don't get to miss out. Now, so every weekend you decide which of the 2. You can stick to one throughout. You can also have a hybrid of the 2 for the 10 weeks. The good thing is that there's a third option, which we don't quite encourage anyways. If for any reason you miss Saturday and you also are unable to make Sunday virtual, the Sunday tuition is recorded. So you have the liberty to listen to the recording before presenting yourself to the following or the ensuing week's lecture. But of course, the disadvantage of not taking physical class Saturday or online Sunday, and you have to just listen in, is that you are just listening to a lecture. You don't have the opportunity of interacting with the instructors, who, by the way, serve as consultants to you whilst teaching you, because we run consultative sessions. Challenges in your managerial career, in strategy, implementation, or execution are all resolved. You miss these opportunities if you are only listening in and not participating in a physical class. Now, while is a professional exam conducted, and let me emphasize this, it is not everyone who comes through the course that is interested in writing the professional exam. And normally we have about half. Some 50, 52, 55% of our trainees sitting for the global examination. And there are others who also tell you, well, I just want to understand strategy, so I'm not sitting for the certification exam. Now, whether you take the professional exam or not, you earn an internal executive certificate in corporate and business strategy. But for those of you who want to earn the global professional certification, you can go ahead and sit for the exam. And the exam is conducted by the global body, the International Association of Strategy Professionals. You can check them out online, IASP. You are either certifying in SPP, that's Strategy Planning Professional, or Strategy Management Professional. The second one is the more senior. Depending on your entry, you qualify for either of the 2. It is an online-based multiple choice examination. You are answering 160 multiple choice questions in 3 hours. And all you require to pass is 70%. That is 112 questions correct out of the 160, and you are declared as a certified strategy professional. Your name is added to the list of strategy professionals. You are provided a certificate and a badge, which you can present to your employers, etc. It's competency based. This is not theoretical academic exam. And so you don't pick and choose like the way we write academic exams. In this one, the examiner doesn't choose and pick topics. Every area of strategy is tested. Every area, from formulation to change management to the transformation to execution to the leadership to managing the control, the risk, and every single area is tested. But you only have to choose A, B, C, or D. Somebody say, well, that one can also be very technical. If you are not professionally trained, it becomes a bit difficult to recognize the correct answer in a given situation. Right. This is how I mentioned already. We are located at East Legon, and this is how some of our lecture, halls look like. Once you are done with the course, you become a member of the Strategy Professionals Ghana, and from time to time, we run programs, conferences, workshops. We host all manner of breakfast meetings where management teams of various organizations are always in attendance, especially for managers who hold key positions and want to propel their individual careers or shape the strategic visioning and implementation of their organizations. How do you enroll? Registration fee is 250 Ghana cedis, and you either pay via MTN Momo, which I'll display to you shortly, or through EcoBank. EcoBank is our bankers. Once you do the payment, you have a link or voucher that enables you to go online to register. The program fee itself is 12,800 Ghana cedis, which is payable in 3 installments, 4,800 at the inception of the program. Somewhere in the middle of the program, you pay 4,000, and by the end of the 10 weeks, your final 4,000. Tuition fee covers everything from your tuition, your case studies, all of your materials. For those of you who do physical, your lunch and all of that are covered, and etc. And then your executive certificate in corporate and business strategy. Then we also have cohort is taking off, which is the 11th cohort, is taking off September 5. That's a faithful Saturday. But if you are doing virtual, it means you are starting on Sunday, September 6. The number again on your screen, 0244 2686 72. On your screen are payment platforms. EcoBank, the name is Institute of Leadership and Strategy. The account number is on your screen. Otherwise, you are paying your 250, which is registration by mobile money, 055 977 9846. 055 977 9846. The name on it is the Institute of Leadership and Strategy. But once you send us your name by text via WhatsApp to our hotline, all this information I'm trying to relay to you will be on your screen. And so we're going to draw the curtains here, but just quickly before we go, if there are any couple of questions, administrators, you can project the questions from our listeners where we provide the answers, and then we draw the curtain. If you have questions too, like I mentioned, you can direct it to our hotline, 0244 268672. Somebody is asking us, John Hagan, to throw more light on risk management. John, risk management is encapsulated in the strategy execution. When you are doing a control of the strategy, you go through how to manage the risks associated with the execution. There are going to be a lot of external shocks that will hit your strategy, from change in government legislation to customer preferences to stakeholder, demand and etc. I remember how we had to help some organizations in 2023 to reformulate and manage the risk of the FX, the foreign exchange, when there was a free fall of the CD in 2023, in order that we ameliorate or mitigate the impact of this external shock strategy. So we may not teach strategy as a full-fledged module, but it is encapsulated in the strategy execution and control element, so you can drive the strategy successfully home. Right? If there is any more question, let's take them. Right? John Hagan is saying business review and strategy formulation. I don't know if you want to receive the lecture in this info session, but if you sit in our lecture hall, you appreciate the dynamics of conducting business reviews when you are adopting models of the business and how to formulate that strategy. And we provide all the tools from the research you would make in understanding the organization's environment to the strategic alternatives and analysis you make, the cost benefit, the return on investment from financial perspective, from the time required to deliver it, and the choices you make are all delivered. And so this is a two-in-one module on my screen, because the business review is taught under business and financial analysis, whilst the strategy formulation is taught at the development and the planning stage, which are modules number 2 and 3 of the course. Right. So Godwin writes, what's the difference between IASP and CCMP? So Godwin, if somebody tells you it's a chartered accountant, I am a chartered accountant, for instance. There are different bodies that you can charter with depending on which you feel you owe allegiance to. You can charter with ICA Ghana, that's the Institute of Chartered Accountant. You can charter with ACCA, Association of Certified Chartered Accountants UK. You can charter with CPA, Certified Public Accountant from the US. So they are all professional bodies, and we thought that the best that have the greatest reach, IASP covers the largest number of countries around the world. It is headquartered in the United States of America, but have covered more than 200 countries, certified professionals so recognized. And so we decided to be with the largest certification body, International Association of Certified of Strategy Professionals, rather than the CCMP. I'm not condemning the CCMP, but just like CIMA and ACCA, either of them makes you a chartered accountant. Same with the strategy program. You decide which of the bodies you certify, but either of them, once you pass their professional certification exam, you become a certified strategy professional. Georgina Adongo writes, do you provide resources or tools to support field work? Every framework, strategy framework and tool you require, you even have the opportunity of going through strategic plans of various organizations, multinationals, local institutions, but for confidentiality's sake, we don't reveal the identity of these organizations, and we sometimes embellish some of the facts and the figures to conceal a trace down or to avoid a trace down to which organization. So it is not a theoretical class at all. And you yourself would belong to a group depending on the industry you are coming from or the industry you are interested in. And you develop a strategic plan for a panel of strategy experts to vet for you and give you all the corrections you need. And so you walk out or you end the program with practical tools in your hand on business, corporate, and functional strategy, but more importantly, how to formulate and execute effective strategy for organizations. Theophilus, does the tuition fee cover the examination? No. And this is a common practice everywhere. You are taking a project management course, you pay tuition that covers your materials and your tuition. And then when you want to write the professional exam, you sit for the exam and pay separately. Like I said, I'm a chartered accountant. When my tuition with ACCA, tuition is separate. Whenever you decide to write the exam, you also pay your professional examination. Somebody may say, but then a strategy course is expensive. Strategy is a very expensive qualification. And when you have it, your career gets projected to a much, much higher level. All right, so we're going to be drawing the curtains here. If you have further questions, just direct it to the number on your screen, 0244-2686, and all information will be relayed to you. All your questions will also be answered. We are looking forward to having you sign up and to see you in our cohort number 11, taking off on September 5. Sometime next week, Friday, we close registration for the next cohort. So you have opportunity to make a decision between now and next week, Friday, to book a seat. We don't really even operate with closing dates. We operate with class sizes. We do about 60 trainees or participants per cohort, distributed between physical and online class. Once the class size is full, we close admission, and you probably will have to wait for a new cohort to make a seat in the class. But officially, we are closing registration next week, Friday, so we can prepare. As a matter of fact, those who are registered are already on a group WhatsApp platform, receiving relevant information on strategy that is preparing them for a takeoff on September 5 and 6 of 2026. Folks, we are immensely grateful for your time and patience joining us for this 45-minute information session, even as we look forward to having you sign up. Thank you all, and do have a very good evening.
Distinguished executive strategy leaders, industry captains, and of course, fellow professionals, we would like to warmly welcome all of you in our traditional parlance. We say Akwaba. Tonight, it's not just an inauguration of an association, but we are activating a movement that will dictate the pace and the direction of this country and the continent as a whole.
This evening is a response to a simple research document I came across. And that Boston Consulting Group's research sought to suggest that managers at the lower level have as much as 72% of them not understanding or appreciating what strategy is. And we felt that we could respond to that gap, that shortfall. That is our greatest motivation for bringing together practitioners of strategy to advance the cause of strategy practice, particularly in corporate Africa.
By developing managers and professionals and executives in business strategy, from strategic leadership to strategic planning to strategy development to the control. That is one key thematic area we don't joke with in the executive class, strategic control.
We are looking forward to having organizations build giant businesses in Africa. And we thought that one of the greatest tools we could use to do that is when there is key strategy knowledge among leaders who drive these organizations.
How do you build a complete institution of the sort and resign from it? And I always remind them, stepping back is part of leadership. All I want to say is that we don't take these decisions arbitrarily or based on intention.
I felt very included in today's discussions. The lecturer today was also very exciting, very innovative, and he definitely kept the class alive.
The orientation, the delivery has been perfect, and I am so excited.
Naturally, systems are evolving, organizations are evolving, and you cannot afford to remain static. You need to be strategic in your approach in solving problems.
The first day has been very impressive. I've met a number of people already. I think that this environment creates the right opportunity to network with people of like-mindedness and also, connect business-wise.